seen in the past decade how young people, not SK, are developing wonderful solutions at the level of the community. Solutions that, even the older generation have not thought of. So, what I'm saying is that the potential for innovative, creative, breakthrough solutions are with young people. We just need to provide them with a platform and the venue. Well, the reforms were directed towards what we call structural problems or ills of the institution. We all know that a lot of people have lost confidence on the Sangguniang Kabataan, and that's perfectly understandable because the performance of the SK in the past decade is, to be very diplomatic about it, very dismal. It has been the haven for what we call bimpos or the young trapos. Bimpos, we call them batang itinulak na magulang sa politika. Yan yung version ng mga batang trapo natin. And it's not only suffering from a major public image problem, it's also suffering from lack of trust and confidence from the very constituents that they should be serving. So, yun yung direction of the reforms. How do we restore SK to be the institution that it was envisioned to be, which was to be a training ground for young leaders so that your next generation of leaders will be more efficient, effective, and oriented towards good governance. So the reforms that were passed are as follows. First, we wanted them to do proper planning because we all know that good governance stems from proper planning, and planning can only happen if you have a keen sense of the reality of the context wherein you are operating. So sabi namin, we need to put in a provision there that will require them to do planning. And when we say planning, we mean comprehensive planning. That's why there's a provision on the Barangay Youth Development Plan. So it means that you cannot access your resources, your funds, without a comprehensive Barangay Youth Development Plan. That's one. Number two, we want them to be independent of the trapos, because that was the problem with the SK before. The trapos were controlling them. And it was easy for the trapos to control them because fiscally, they were tied to the barangay council. For example, the resources will not be released without the approval of the barangay captain or even the treasurer. So along the way, they learned the ropes of corruption, bad governance, patronage politics. So for the second reform, we wanted them to have fiscal autonomy, and that was also embedded in the new law. And lastly, we want to expand the age coverage because we felt that 15 to 17 is quite a limited age range to represent a broad sector of the youth community. So we said, why not expand it to the real definition of youth in the Philippines, which is 15 to 30 years old, as mandated by RA 8044 or the Youth and Nation Building Act. So in the new SK, the members of the KK, the Katipunan ng Kabataan, are all young people 15 to 30 years old. Those who can run are those from 18 to 24. Why 18 to 24? As much as we want to have young leaders who are 15 to 17, the problem is the age of majority. That was precisely the problem before. Because they were minors, 15 to 17, they cannot even open their own bank account. So there are legal impediments. That's why we wanted them to be in the 18 to 24, or what the UN calls the core youth when it comes to the election or qualification of officials. So that's the other reform, which is the expansion of the age coverage. Those who are arguing against it, all they have to do is to look at the most fundamental law of the land, which is the Constitution. The Constitution has a very clear mandate for curbing political dynasty. And it's actually a long overdue task of Congress to legislate a general political anti-dynasty legislation. So, not true when they say that it has no legal basis. Number two, it's tough because it's ingrained in our traditional political traditions. I would understand that some people would feel that, you are putting those who are from political clans at a disadvantage. But this is the SK. We want to level the playing field. We all know the reality that if you come from a political clan, you're way ahead of the race. And how are we going to give a chance to young but deserving leaders who are not from political dynasties to experience and be part of the SK practice. It's a way to level the playing field, but we understand that the law has limitations. For example, now, should there be a situation wherein a father and a son both ran for the SK and the barangay council, the one who will be in the losing end in case they both win will be the one who ran for the SK. Because for the barangay council, there's no anti-political dynasty policy. So if the father wins barangay chair and the child wins SK chairperson, the SK chairperson cannot be proclaimed. So you see how young people are put at a disadvantage because the older generation does not want to address the call for anti-political dynasty. So that's one. But it's going to be tough because originally what we wanted to do was to have at least up to the third degree of consanguinity. But what we have now is up to the second degree of consanguinity. So what we're seeing is that there might be situations wherein the pamangkin of mayor or the pinsan of governor or the pamangkin of congressman will be your SK Federation chair or president at the municipal or provincial level. And that would be very sad because it runs contrary to the spirit of the anti-political dynasty intent of the SK reform. It just so happened that that's not the exact provision of the law. So we're going to see. Personally, I will be keeping track how many federation presidents would be coming from political clans because I'm sure local officials will still want to have their SK Federation president at the city council or municipal council as their allies. So they might use the old route of putting in relatives in that position. Well, under the new setup, they will not be able to assume office if they have not went through the what we call the basic SK course, or the organizational management and fiscal training that they have to go through. In the new training module, what they will first do is to identify what are the primary issues and concerns in my community. What are the problems of young people? And then from there, we will challenge them to come up with solutions. How do you intend to respond to these problems as a council? Because they have resources. So it will be a solutions-oriented governance. First step towards good governance, because good governance is about being responsive and transparent. So the first step to that is making them realize that you're there because you're there to develop, craft, and implement solutions to the problems of your constituents. How would I describe my feelings now? I was just in a community this morning wherein I observed two groups of SK candidates campaigning, and it's difficult to distinguish whether they're campaigning for the SK or the barangay elections. So you wouldn't know really if you don't look closely who is for the barangay and who is for the SK. Not because they don't look young, but because the strategies are almost the same. If you look at the slogans of the barangay council candidates, more or less the same as the slogans of young people. I hope that young people would realize that they need to be a bit more cooler than the barangay official candidates because they're talking to a much younger generation. And that would mean veering away from the traditional campaign strategies, which is also the bedrock of traditional politics. So I hope that they could be bolder in their strategy so that they can reach out and capture the imagination of young people. Because I understand that perhaps they're campaigning this way because this is the kind of campaign that they're used to. But they have to be more creative than that. Because I'm sure they're far more creative than that. Or baka hindi sila exposed doon sa ibang klase ng pangampanya. But I'm sure they are. If only they observe closely online through social media, they would see and understand that, there are other forms of campaign that are equally effective and efficient, less costly, and more environment friendly. What I'm trying to imagine now is, I think there should have been a prior process before the elections wherein young people would be able to go through training on campaigns and capacity building. Because I'm sure what's happening now is that they're asking the older generation of politicians, so, lolo, tatay, kuya, how do you campaign? And they just adopt it because they feel that that's the effective strategy. We just hope that through these elections, even the way or the manner of campaigning eventually will evolve. that it will be less about individuals and more about platforms, less about the personalities but more about the causes. Because in the past few years, we've been observing that young people are gravitating towards specific causes in massive volumes, which is unprecedented in the history of organizing in the Philippines. For example, I'm observing very closely the phenomenon of the campaign for the mental health law. It was unimaginable that for an issue like this to gather such a strong constituency among young people. And what they used were very unconventional organizing strategies. If that could only be transplanted in the SK experience. Whenever I talk to a group of young people, and this I plan to do just in case I get invited to SK plannings, is to tell them about the welcome arc analogy. One of the most common, if not the most common infrastructure project from SK is the welcome arc. So, for example, welcome to Barangay so and so by SK Chairwoman X. That's the most common project. And I would normally walk them through an experience wherein if leadership is about finding solutions, what problem is the welcome arc responding to? And the answers will be really outrageous. For example, one answer would be, the welcome arc is a response to a crucial problem, and that problem is people in that barangay do not know the name of their barangay. Thus the welcome arc. Or, the people passing through their barangay feel that they are not welcome. Thus the need for a welcome arc. So, yes, it's absurd, and it illustrates how absurd at times governance in the Philippines is. So, for the new set of SK, I would always tell them about the welcome arc analogy to test the relevance of their initiatives. They should be able to respond to an issue. And we are planning to do a roadshow of sorts for the different projects that they have won in the Tayo in the past 15 years. Just to show them that, you can actually deliver substantial, effective solutions if only you exert effort in developing one. So, for example, there's this group of young people in Taytay Rizal. They're called Angat Kabataan ng Taytay Rizal. They live in a community wherein there's a creek in the middle called Maligning Creek, and Maligning Creek is very polluted. And generations of barangay and city leaders have given up on the Maligning Creek problem. Not until a group of young people said that we don't want to grow old and die in a community wherein there's a dying, dirty creek in the middle of the community. So they looked for solutions, and they looked everywhere until they found one of the solutions online, of course. The young people would always go to Google, but these young people went to YouTube to look for a solution, and they discovered the technology of the bokashi balls. They used the technology with social mobilization, and they were able to eventually restore life in the Maligning Creek. And this is a problem that the older generation cannot or have given up on. And yet a group of young people decided to take it on, and they delivered solutions. And that would be the challenge to the new SK. How do you deliver such effective solutions? The crucial thing is for them to commit to first finding the problem and then eventually trying to discover and develop solutions. It cannot be business as usual, liga, beauty pageant, and the proverbial welcome arc.
Yung Sangguniang Kabataan po kasi is a training ground for the youth, kung saan po hinahasa po yung mga Sangguniang Kabataan para po maging aware po sila sa mga nangyayari sa paligid nila, hindi lang po sa mga barangay, pero para po matutunan din po nilang ilabas kung ano po yung mga opinion nila.
Parang Council of Youth siya in each barangay sa Philippines. Parang it's built by yung mga kabataan sa barangay niya. Na they help with yung mga nangyayari sa barangay, they help them.
I honestly think na they're like youth of the same age who actually tries to be political or tries to do something sa, at least for their city or barangay. That's how I think of them. Because I'm not really aware, because honestly, in my place, parang I don't see them at all. Even if I live beside the barangay hall, I don't see anything. Even if kanina paglabas ko, I don't see any candidates or anyone trying to campaign. So, I really don't know about them.
Opinion ko po, Sangguniang Kabataan, mas marami pa pong dapat ipatupad para mas maging aware yung mga kabataan kung ano pong nangyayari sa mga aming barangay.
What I think about SK is like from what yung meaning na nga lang is like kabataan. Mga younger age, gano'n, they need to know about yung politics. Para syempre, kami yung voters, gano'n. Kundi ang usually like right now, for me yung mga nasa position ngayon is like circus eh. Clown eh. It's like a joke, gano'n. Most of them are just famous kaya they win, gano'n. So, I think people should know if the person has the capacity to do that position or what.
Yung SK po kasi for kabataan po siya na makakatulong po talaga. Katulad po ng yung mga kabataan po kasi ngayon po nahihirapan po sila kung ano po sila magtatanong, nahihiya din po sa chairman. So parang may SK chairman na po na pwede po dun po sila magtanong na
Yes, meron pa po. Kasi mas natitrain po sila ng maaga and mas boses po sila ng kabataan yun po.
Oh yeah, kasi sila yung mas nakakaintindi sa younger generations, sa mga millennials, yan. Sila mas nakakaintindi. So alam nila kung ano yung mas kailangan nila sa barangay nila.
Well, seeing their campaigns online, I think for their specific cities or place, maybe they can do something about that. But in our case, especially knowing the things happening around us, parang hindi naman talaga napapakinggan yung voices ng mga kabataan.
Opo, may saysay pa po ang SK ngayon kasi marami na pong mga kabataan na minsan naiiba ng landas.
For me, parang hindi na eh. Kasi like, who always wins are yung mga popular, gano'n. So, what's the point na rin?
yes po, malaki po, sobrang laki po ng saysay ng SK sa ngayon po. Katulad nga po ng nasabi ko na mas magtatanong po yung kabataan na kung ano pong pwedeng gawing activity sa barangay.
Okay, tumatakbo ako bilang Sangguniang Kabataan Chairperson. Bakit ako tumakbo? May backstory po yan. Nung una, ayoko po talaga kasi I need to consider a lot of things. Una, budget, saan ko kukunin yan? Pangalawa, kaya pa ba ng time ko? Dahil nga nasabi ko kanina, isa akong guro. Baka ayoko naman kasi mag-suffer din yung isa kong work. At ayoko magkaroon ng kompromiso sa mga ibang tao. And then, habang papalapit na yung campaign period, nalaman ko na, ito pala yung magiging kalaban ko. Lahat kami babae naman, pero mas inisip ko na mas kaya ko. Kumbaga, ayoko kasing masayang yung budget na ibibigay ng barangay para sa aming mga kabataan. Kaya gusto kong ma-utilize yun na maayos. And I think I'm the better person for that.
May mga bata rin kasi sa amin nagsasabi na, uy, Ate Arian, takbo kang SK, ganito, ganyan, malaki matutulong mo sa atin. Kasi yung mga previous SK naman kasi, yung hindi sila amazed or hindi sila natulungan or something like that. So, sabi ko, sige, tatakbo ako para sa atin to ganyan, ganyan. So, ayun, sabi ko, sige, tatakbo ako para sa lugar natin, para may sulong natin ng kabataan. Hindi yung lagi nilang kayo yung sinasabing, parang pasaway kayo, kayo, ganito, ganyan, lagi kayong nagiinuman kung saan-saan, mga ganun. Siyempre, kailangan din natin i-correct yun, di ba?
So, dun pa sa pagpadalang information, honestly, hindi po siya gaano na-disseminate na maayos. Kasi nga po, hindi naman po din in-explain mabuti. Unless na po kung babasahin mo. And then yung for second question po, para sa akin, mas maganda po yung system na pagiging SK ngayon. Kasi po, may back in history nga po, dun sa Kabataang Barangay, which is under Presidential Decree 684 po. Okay, yun doon po, meron na pong 6 na kagawad, tapos isang chairperson po. Pero yung age na po is between 15 to 21 years old po. So, how come na kung ikaw ay mananalo at 15 years old ka, diba? So, paano ka pipirma sa mga legal basis kung ikaw ay 15 years old at wala ka pa sa legal age? So, dahil doon, nagkakaroon pa ng mga nepotism. At saka, sinasabi nila, pwedeng sinasabihan ka lang ng kagawad mo or malaki yung possibilities na maharang yung project na gagawin mo. And then next naman, yung kay Cory Aquino po, binago na po yung pangalan, which is Sangguniang Kabataan. Okay naman din po, pero dahil mababa pa rin yung age, kumbaga ang ginawa lang kasi pangalan lang yung iniba. So still pa din kung paano nangyari sa kabataan ng barangay. And then ito na po, yung bagong IRR, Sangguniang Kabataan Reform Act of 2015. So, masasabi ko po na mas maayos na to dahil binago na po yung age 18 to 24. So, ibig sabihin, lahat po ng liabilities ay hawak na po ng isang kabataan. So, lahat po ng pwedeng mangyari, wala pong ibang sasagot, kundi kami po.
At saka maganda kasi ngayon, mas tinaasan nila yung age, di ba? Nung pwedeng bumoto. Unlike dati na hanggang 18 lang. So ano bang mabibigay na magandang idea ng mga tatabong SK kung hanggang 18 lang. So hindi pa sila ganun ka-mature. So ngayon mas tinasan nila at least mas marami ng idea na mabibigay yung mga tumatakbong ng SK na nasa age na 18 to 24, 'di ba?
Ayan, so una po, pakibasa po ulit sa kanila yung IRR, yung bago. Pwede sampal sa mukha nila para maintindihan. Pangalawa yun po, sorry po sa mga naunang chairperson kasi bakit ganun po yung ginawa nyo? Naging stereotype po tuloy sa mga tao ngayon na pag sinabing SK walang nagagawa. Puro pagpapabebe, pagpapakiyot, pagpapaliga. Gusto kasi baguhin sa panahon ng mga bata na part sila ng community. Kumbaga, wala naman kami sa posisyon na to kung hindi dahil sa kanila. Kumbaga, nandito lang naman kami to guide them. Balik tayo dun sa duties and responsibilities ha. Kasi pag sinabing SK, according dun sa Reform Act, ang trabaho po talaga namin is gumawa po ng resolution. Yan lang. So para kaming senador na gumagawa ng batas. So dito po kasi pinaghiwalay talaga. Kumbaga, lahat ng gagawin namin, lahat ng plano namin, hindi po pwedeng makialam yung kapitan. So para sa akin anong pinakamagandang magagawa ng SK? Kasi meron po kaming bukod na mandate. Kasi alam naman natin na kung barangay captain yan, meron silang sariling ginagawa at malaki ang chances na hindi nila mapagtutuunan ng pansin yung pangangailangan ng kabataan. Kasi more on infrastructure sila diba? Alay kami, nakikita namin at bilang isang teacher, bilang isang kabataan din, alam ko yung needs. Kaya alam ko din kung paano siya magagawa ng paraan, alam ko din siya kung paano masasolusyonan. Habang naglalakad ako, may isang nagtanong sa akin, bakit wala kang gaanong TARP? Tapos yung sagot ko, simple lang. Hindi ko kailangan yan kasi una, gastos lang yan. Pangalawa, after election, TARP is a trash. So, diba? So, walang silbi, nagsayang pa ako ng pera. Bakit hindi ko na lang ilaan yung pera na ipanggagawa ko sa TARP dun sa programa na igagawin ko kapag naupo na ako. Pangalawa, gusto ko sanang gamitin yung pagiging teacher ko. Kasi, di ba, kapag kayo, sinabing teacher, uy, wow, napaka-noble profession niya, hindi siya gumagawa ng mali. Pangatlo, ginagamit ko kasi yung digital age. Para saan pa nagkaroon tayo ng Facebook, di ba, kung hindi natin siya may utilize ng maayos. So, dun ko pinapalakad po yung campaign ko.
Nung Sunday, meron kaming mga drums, na nagtatambol-tambol sila, ganyan-ganyan, panghalina. Tapos may mga kabataan, talaga yung mga kabataan na namin yung gumawa ng jingle para sa akin, yung kinanta nila yung Arian ka na naman, gwagan siya. Sabi ko, wow, kayo na yung gumagawa ng jingle para sa amin. Yung mga flyers, TARP, sumusunod naman kami sa nilabas ng Comelec na sizes ng mga TARP, ng mga flyers, ganito, ganyan. At saka nag-iikot-ikot kami, kakausapin namin yung mga magulang, shake hands dito, shake hands doon, tapos syempre, ngitian dito. Tapos, habang wala pa, edi pupunta mo yung mga lugar, sa FB, yan. Alam mo naman ngayon, more on social media na. Yung mga campaign, share dito, share doon, yung mga ganun lang na bagay. Pero yung mga sinasabi nila na yung tipong babahay-bahay mo, mamimilit ka. Siyempre, tao pa rin yung magde-decide nun kung sino yung iboboto nila. So, tayo, at least, ginawa namin yung part namin ng mga kampanya, ng maayos, ng walang ginagawang masama. Yun na yun. Depende na sa tao kung anong gusto nila magiging kinabukasan ng magiging mga anak nila or mga kapatid nila.
We feel that if only young people will be given the necessary know-how, both on the level of technical level, planning, implementation of projects and programs, they would be able to come up with excellent activities.